Tagum City,
Davao.
Davao del Norte.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm currently studying here in Bilbao. In Bilbao.
Yes.
At the University of the Houston. Well, I come from a really small, quite conservative family. In Tagum, I was living with my parents and one younger brother, and we are called NPA, no permanent address. Yes, so until now, so one of my motivations is really to finish higher education so that one day I can provide that for my family.
That's a good one. Are you coming from a well-off family?
No, no. So my father worked as quality labor in one of the biggest banana plantations in Davao del Norte, and yeah, he was the only one working for the family back then. So I stepped up to the responsibility when I graduated from the university. I mean, in the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Pag sinabing tayo mayaman, the
Yes.
only ang tawag dyan, parang inheritance na makukuha ko from my parents, their support for me to finish my education.
What did you take in college?
College. So I was studying at the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, in Davao City.
Wow.
I took up Bachelor of Arts in Communication Arts, major in Media Arts.
It manifests.
Yeah. Minor in Speech Communication.
Wow. Have you worked in relation to your profession?
Yes. So, well, right after I graduated from the university, I took a teaching job
Wow.
first sa city
That
ko.
was your first
Yes,
job.
yes. And then I moved to Manila, to the capital city, and worked for the Commission on Higher Education.
Wow.
Yeah, as their communication officer. So, but I was only like 10 months. Yeah, and then I moved to Thailand. If you remember, President Duterte signed the free college education. So it was lodged to the office where I worked. So we had to manage all the financial assistance programs for Filipino college.
Were you a kind of a student who you need to study and as well you help your parents?
I think I had to do both. I mean, I had to enjoy learning, but at the same time, I also had to start working. I think, when I was in college, I had to start working during my final year.
Was it obliged that you need to do the same? You're juggling two things like studying.
It wasn't. Well, I would say I was not obliged, but I saw it as a necessity.
Yeah.
You know, like it was risky because I had to work full time on a graveyard shift, you know, in a BPO company.
Yeah, wow.
And I was writing my bachelor's thesis, and I told my professor if she could really give me enough time to finish my degree.
Yes.
And then I was so happy that she was supportive. And then I mean, I think it's common. It's a Philippine common story. Like, you know, like we have to juggle. I mean, work and studies. And
was it difficult for you? Because there are some students that they could not focus on study. For you, since you experienced it,
I would say it was difficult, but it was manageable.
manageable.
Yeah,
So,
I think ang pinanghawakan ko lang is yung parang I am not doing this for myself. You know, UP taught me to be of service to other people, of service to others, and of course, I have to do that first for my family, di ba? Paano ko makatulong sa iba if I can't even help my own family?
Yes, that's
So
true.
that kind of mindset I had to grip. Parang, sige, yun na lang panghawakan ko. Kahit mahirap, kahit pagod, lalong mas mahirap kapag natalo ako ng takot.
That's
dahil
true.
I could not
pag
finish it.
naunahan ka na nearby.
Yes.
You are an eloquent person. Were you a consistent honor student from elementary to your high school up to your college?
I wouldn't say consistent, but yeah, I'm an achiever, I would say. But I think it's because from a very young age, meron na akong consciousness that I have to do well in my studies because we cannot afford to live the same cycle, you know, like being impoverished and underprivileged. I mean, it's a reality. It's a sad reality. But I have to step up my game,
Yeah.
not only for myself,
Yes, you're so motivated because your people, your parents themselves, they supported you.
Exactly, exactly.
And you are
exactly.
thinking also to help not only within your family but to other
Yes,
people.
yes, exactly.
Were you a cum laude candidate?
Yeah, I graduated cum laude from
Yes,
UP.
I can see it. It manifests the way you talk, the way you know.
Yeah,
So,
and it did really help me, win scholarships as
that's
well.
true. It's 100%, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And aside from that, you have 100% free from the tuition. And what benefits aside from that?
Yeah,
tuition?
so actually to
get?
anyone who's interested, you can
Yes.
apply. It's called an Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So it is a scholarship provided by the European government.
Okay.
So everything they will pay for, your tuition, your allowances, your travel allowance, your flight,
Yes.
your visa, everything will be covered.
And that's why you are here?
So the Erasmus Mundus program has a lot of master programs. So it's a master's scholarship.
Okay.
So you can choose any program you are interested in. Depends on your interests, your qualifications. In my case, I applied for the master's program in Euroculture because I like to study different culture.
You're like an exchange culture as well.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Because I already studied abroad during my university years. I was
Okay.
an exchange student in Bangkok, Thailand for 1 year. That one was funded by the University of the Philippines, but this one is funded by the European government. I applied for it when I was working as an English teacher in Thailand. I was not in the Philippines.
So you came here from Thailand to
Well,
to Spain?
technically, I went home to process my
Yeah,
papers,
documents, yes.
but I was working in Thailand for almost 4 years or 3 years or more as an English teacher. I was an OFW for 3
Yeah,
years.
that's why you've been part of my show, and thank you very much for this privilege. So,
Yes.
So you've been a part of the OFW umbrella.
Exactly, so
would you take us back to your Thailand journey just a little bit? How did you adapt the culture, the Thailand
Yeah.
locals? Was
Yeah.
it easy for you to deal with it?
Well, like I said, I already studied there during my bachelor's degree, so I had a glimpse of what the culture is. I love Thailand. It's like the Philippines,
Oh, wow.
but they only have a different language, which was very
Yes.
difficult for me to learn because Thai is very tonal, wrong tone, different meaning. Yeah, so it was the hardest for me to adjust. Climate, culture, not very much. It's more similar to ours.
The food? What about the food?
That's also very different because Thai food is very spicy.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, at first I didn't like spicy food. Like literally in the Philippines we cook sibuyas and ahos first. Right?
yes.
But in Thailand they saute chilies first.
I can see that.
But-
Yeah.
Along the way
You adapt-
adjust.
you adapt.
Yeah, I've adapted.
Yes.
Yeah. But I love
What about the
Thailand.
locals? Are they good friends? Or
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Like I said, they're really just like Filipinos. Very friendly, very warm. Yeah, mga kalog din. Alam mo
Yeah.
yun, parang
sa school kasi nagturo ka, di ba? Iba kasi yung the approach that we're applying to Filipino students, and this is different. So,
Yeah.
how do you handle the students?
That's a
at
very
first?
good question. Kasi I also nagturo din ako sa Pilipinas, no?
Yeah.
Pero sa college. Sa Thailand, ay nagturo ako na I taught grade 6 and high school students. Very different kasi sa Philippines, we train our students to think critically,
Yeah.
to question. I mean, sanay tayong mag-ask ng questions.
Yeah.
Teacher, we are inquisitive. In Thailand, it's quite different kasi they are more like bookish. I don't know if I explain it well. Parang what I say, they already accept it. That's it. Parang they don't like to question. And there's a reason why. Kasi in Thailand, teachers are in a... Because meron silang social hierarchy.
Okay.
Diba? They are a constitutional monarch. They have a king.
Yeah.
So they have high respect for teachers that they think when they ask questions, it's being disrespectful or
okay.
sa atin kasi
So what would be the approach? Is it them that they need to say, hi sir, I need to explain something, or
yeah, that's a good question. What I did with my students is, of course, I have to respect their culture. No? If that's how their culture is, and I would not force them to keep asking questions. But what I do is to give them the space and the freedom to think and to create according to their interests.
Yeah.
You can't force students to work on how we do our education in the Philippines. But what I can say is there are many English teachers from the Philippines in Thailand already changing that kind of approach. Yeah,
Pero,
yeah.
so, we understand that their way of teaching is different from ours, but how did you say to yourself, or when you evaluate yourself, that did my student learn from me? How can you be sure that they are really learning as you are a teacher?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think most English as a foreign language teachers in Thailand struggle with knowing whether the students really learn.
Yeah.
From the moment we started teaching until the
finish.
And usually at the end of the program, the English program, for each level, we do an evaluation and we ask them in English. And
that's
when
important.
when they can already explain themselves or express themselves in the English ability or level that they have, it's already
acceptable. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And what about dealing with the parents? Because I think there are the classroom is not perfect. That somebody will tell their mom that this is our teacher. They do like this and like that. For example, if there are complaints from the parents, how did you handle those complaints and explain to the parent that that kind of situation?
In my case, I didn't have any experience when students' parents complained something.
Okay.
But I heard that when students have complaints, they usually go to their Thai teacher.
Okay.
Because there is a Thai teacher that like an advisor for the class.
Yes.
So usually there are problems coming from the parents, whether it's about the English teacher or any other teacher. Is the Thai teachers first that know, and they give that. I mean, they communicate that to you after.
Okay.
But in my case, I haven't.
You never
had any,
called to the principal.
No.
Okay.
What I
So
want to
how
say
many, how many number of students do you have in a classroom?
I think 40 or 30.
It's so much.
It's a lot as
It's
well.
a lot.
Parang
It's a
Pilipinas.
lot.
Yeah.
And do you have with you an assistant?
No.
So you will be alone.
Most of the time, yes. I mean, it is a struggle if you don't speak Thai. We are not obliged to speak the local language. But if the class, for example, has zero English, most students don't speak English. How would you explain? That's the challenge,
True. So
right?
it should be a two-way language.
Yeah, I have to do the acting, and
Oh yeah, that's just the what do you call that? The actions, that's just to show that you are really trying to inject your lesson.
Exactly.
So the behavior, because I think grade 5, grade 6 is really vulnerable, So this is different. This is not. These are not Filipino. They are not. I don't know if they have the JMRC, that it's so called. So when it comes to behavior, how did they behave with the teacher?
Yeah, I would say more or less they are also similar to Filipino students. Like they can go rowdy, but they can go also quiet. Depends on. Here's the thing: the first day you already have to establish your authority.
Okay.
You know that even though I'm a very friendly person, and if they can see that I'm a very friendly person, I am approachable. But that can also mean that they can abuse my authority.
That's true.
Right?
That's
so
true.
I would tell my students on the first day,
There's a boundary.
I am a friendly teacher. You can talk to me anytime, but I am your teacher.
Of course.
When I'm talking, when I'm teaching, you listen. And then we have moments in class or times where we have to play games, and that's how they can go as crazy as they want.
Wow.
So we give the students the space to listen and learn with serious kind of learning, and they also have time to play.
Wow. Have
So
you with you Filipino kids or children?
Sorry?
In your classroom, have you
Had-
encountered
in my
Filipino students? No. All are Thais.
Thais,
Thai.
Indians,
Indian,
yeah,
Chinese.
but not
Oh.
no Filipinos.
Okay.
Most Filipinos in Thailand are studying in international schools. I was teaching in a
In
bilingual school.
And bilingual. What can you say about their learning? Are they the people like the students like Filipino that we have also fast learners and
Yeah, so
are
they usually they divide the students in different
Okay, like
sections.
section, yes.
Yeah, so they have a class or they have a class called gifted.
it's a good term.
Yeah, so the gifted class is the easiest to teach
teach.
because they already majority of them speak English. They understand you. But the hardest one are those who, like I said, the section with zero English is that's the most challenging class to teach.
Were you assigned to that zero knowledge?
in all kinds of sections?
Okay, you need to. This is
Yeah.
not. There's no option. You have to go
Yes.
through the
So I taught
through
in
levels.
gifted classes,
Yes.
in special the normal or regular classes and the
Yeah. Why Thailand? Why not Vietnam or any other Asian countries?
yeah, like I said, I already studied in Thailand
Okay.
before, so
Okay.
I already have like an idea of what the culture is, and I really like Thailand. Like
Yes.
it feels like I'm at home. As
Yeah,
well.
that's your second home.
Yeah.
So their living. Let's talk about their living. Was it expensive to live in Thailand or like normal?
If you're working I can only speak from my experience. But
Yes.
if you're working as an English teacher, usually you earn 25,000, 30,000. That's already livable in.
But you can
in
also
Thailand.
earn that back home, right?
Yes, absolutely. But I chose to do it abroad kasi in Thailand, if you're a teacher, you don't have so many paperworks because all of the
less
paperworks will be done by the Thai teachers.
Thank you for mentioning this because this is a little bit advanced when it comes to classrooms. I know Thailand is a little bit developing countries
Yeah.
compared to our. So when it comes to class presentation, would you are you still using that paper or more on projectors?
No, not
or-
anymore. I mean, only when I do games, I would use, like papers and colored
Okay.
papers and all that. But usually when I present my classes, we have all classrooms have built-in projectors. So we use the projector.
Yeah.
We can use the computer.
Yeah.
We just do PowerPoints
Yes,
or
PowerPoint.
show videos.
So this is less work. And
Yes.
this is not like in our culture that we need to bring home
No.
the work,
No.
like assignments.
In Thailand, if you, because the last class, for example, in my school, the last class is at 3:30. By 4 p.m. we already go home.
Wow.
No more work.
No more work. No
Yes.
more take home
No.
work.
No.
Wow. And you experienced there 4 years teaching.
I think hindi siya umabot ng 4 years. I think it's
Why did you leave? Because you came here. That's why.
Yes, so I was already in my 3rd year of teaching and I thought, gusto ko nang mag-try ng iba and I want to go back to school. So I applied for different scholarships and well, thankfully this was blessed to me back in 2022.
Yes.
So yun, I decided to go back to the Philippines to process everything and then I come to Europe.
Are the locals in Thailand like us, family oriented?
Very,
Oh wow!
very family.
So it's not really hard for you to adjust because they are also family.
And they will treat you like a family as well, like
wow.
how we treat our.
So there's no
Scalabag.
discrimination.
No.
Racist, never. You didn't experience.
I wouldn't say it's racist, but in terms of like when they hire teachers, there's a hierarchy as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Filipinos are in the lower.
Why?
In terms of, so they pay native speakers from America,
Yeah,
from
that's
the
so
United
unfair
States.
because I'd like to break you there. I have interviewed a Filipina worked in China for 15 years. They also the same story with you. They are really the teachers that most likely teach
Yeah.
the students very seriously, and the locals didn't even have the degree. But of course, I mean the natives
native
from
speakers, yeah.
UK, from
Yeah.
US. But it seems that they were compensated well than compared
That is
to
true,
Asians.
that is
So
true.
how did you, you know, embrace this kind of discrimination? It's you can say this is discrimination because
Yeah.
you know
I
giving
mean,
in different salary
yeah.
is
I mean, I even had work colleagues that are already master teachers in the Philippines, but we are only receiving the same salary.
yes.
But those, I mean, in other schools, it's really difficult. I wouldn't say I embrace it. I still don't agree with this kind
Of
of,
course,
hierarchy because Filipinos are great teachers.
I agree.
If not the best teachers Thailand can ever have. Because also there are many Filipinos who would take any kind of job, any low-paying teaching job. So it would give an idea to other schools that, well, Filipinos can just receive low salaries then. So parang, we try to negotiate our salaries, but yeah, it's difficult.
So let's forward to this journey sa Bilbao. Why did you choose Bilbao, not Madrid, not Barcelona?
So my master's degree is actually from a joint consortium. It means that there are many universities organizing the program. In my case, it's the University of Groningen in the Netherlands and the University of Deusto here. So it's a partner university of my university in the Netherlands. So the whole program, I would spend it in a different country. So I was in the Netherlands for the first semester. I was here last year for my second semester.
You came here last year.
Yeah, I came here
What exact month?
February 2023. And then I left in June to go to the Czech Republic for my third semester. And then I chose to come back here for my last semester.
And you are just finishing this semester
Yes.
and go home. Is that
Well, going home yet is not my
option?
but yeah, let's see. No say.
Yeah.
Let's see where the universe
Your
takes
journey
me.
will be.
Yeah.
Dito, final questions.
Okay.
Now that you are here in Bilbao, how is it for you to deal with the locals, the kabayans, and how did you tell us a short story about
Okay,
your
yeah.
journey here?
Well, to make it short, I that's why I love it here because there is a Filipino community, and I would not lose my Filipino roots because when I was in the Netherlands or the Czech Republic, wala akong namimit na Filipino. But here, there is a very warm and strong Filipino community. I have friends here who I've met since I was here in 2023. So gusto ko siya. I like it here because I have a community. I don't feel alone. It's important for us, when you are
feel
abroad.
that you belong to a big family.
Exactly.
Yes.
I feel like I belong to a family.
And I
to a
think I also
community.
agree with you because there are still kabayans who came here for education and they are not the same like you na you are open to to deal with people. Meron tayong mga kabayan na even shoulder to shoulder hindi sila namapansin, and thankful ako na for that achievement of yours, napaunlakan mo pa ako sa short
Of course naman.
And so,
Thank you. At sa locals din naman, I mean, they are familiar. I mean, their culture is familiar. So
who was the first Filipino person here in Bilbao that you met in your first day?
I think it was Ate Zia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Zia.
kasi nang nagpunta ko sa church, that's the first time na na-meet ko ang Filipinos. Tapos si Zia, si Ate Rose, and then na-meet ko na yung iba.
I never go out kasi sa Las Arenas. I'm working in a house. I'm taking care of 92 years old. So that's why this is on. Actually, today is not my day off. Thank you that you are part of this. So give your shout out before you go.
It's my honor. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And I'm really grateful. And if you guys want to also come to Spain or to Bilbao through a scholarship, you can check Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Go Google
it's
it.
still open until now.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's open, and yeah, follow your dreams. I mean, hindi
Thank you.
hindi boundary ang limit. Kahirapan. Go lang ng go. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Maybe I could add you from